Welcome, everybody, to this week's Disruptive Franchise Podcast. This week, I have the pleasure of being joined by Ben and Rachel from your video team. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you.
And you.
Thank you for
We did
having
that
us.
very much in tandem, didn't we?
Did.
You were very tuneful. I like it. You've obviously done this before. Excellent. Thank you so much for being on. I wanted to get you guys onto the podcast because you've been involved with Disruptive Franchise before. Not only have you sponsored the event, and I think you've photographed it. It's not.
Photographed it.
You guys were photographers, weren't you, for one of the events? I'm sure.
Yeah, filmed and photographed an event as well.
Amazing. So you guys really do know what that Disruptive Franchise is all about, really. And you were finalists of Supplier of the Year, weren't you?
We were.
We
Yeah,
were.
all in one year. Like
Yeah,
last year.
I assume we came second.
So he tells everyone.
I don't have the results from last year. I wasn't responsible. Yes, I'm sure you did. Amazing. Tell us a little bit about your video team.
Yeah. Okay. So we are a husband and wife team because we're a glutton for punishment. And, but we have been in business together. We met working and then we've run businesses together. And then your video team was born out of COVID. And it was weirdly the best thing that happened to us. So we turned the business round from weddings and events into corporate. And now we specialize in podcasting, video podcasting, and that's what we do.
Yeah. I don't know what else to add. Rachel summarised it well there.
Love it. All in a nutshell. I love it. Why video podcasting? Tell me.
Because we believe that there is a lot of power in a conversation. That's probably why you started a podcast, to have a conversation. And there's more than just one way for it to be consumed, not just in your ears. Obviously, a lot of podcasts are consumed on the way to work, but more and more people are watching them in front of the TV, like sitting there of an evening and not watching traditional telly. They're going onto YouTube or Spotify to watch them on their TV, on their home devices, on their laptops, on their iPads. And people consume better, or they learn better when they can see things as well. Even if that is just body language, they can connect with the person on there more. And we just wanted to bring that option to everyone. We want to turn everyone into a diary of a CEO, really. So, which is why we went video podcast is what we're going to do. And we've done years of videoing stuff anyway. So it's just really investing in all the sound, microphones and stuff like that, and the studio space to make it a reality. And we're glad to say that we have made it reality, and people are utilizing this space and getting bigger and better shows out of it.
It's amazing, isn't it? I completely agree with you. That's why we made this a video podcast. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or anything like that, head over to YouTube and you can watch this as a video podcast. I think there is something quite special as well about being able to see people. I've got audio podcasts that I listen to weekly that I love to listen to while I'm cooking the kids dinner, without being too stereotypical. But equally, to actually sit down and watch and get to know people, I think it elevates that level of trust, doesn't it? To be able to see someone's face, and I use my hands a lot, so I feel a bit restricted if you've only got my voice. So yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, body language, it communicates like 80% of what you're saying. So if they can see your body language, they can feel your passion, which is, I think, the best bit about it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. In terms of obviously video podcasting, that is something that is growing, which I'm thrilled about, actually, because it's a medium that I really like. But for you guys, why? What do I want to ask? In terms of that COVID shift, when you're like, right, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
So I've seen you film lots of different events. What made you choose to go to podcasting as well? Was it the fact that you had the kit and studio and stuff? What was it that kind of made you go, rather than just being outbound, go to events, film stuff? What made you do that podcast element as well?
It was a case that people were coming up to us going, we want to tell everyone our story. We want to teach people things. But we don't know how to structure it or stuff like that. I was like, well, let's just start with a conversation. There were companies that wanted to get messages across to their teams, and the easiest way to do that was at first we were calling it like a news report.
Yeah.
So when we worked with Coca-Cola, we first of all made them COVID safe, but then they needed to get messages to their team. So we kind of set up a studio space in their factories, and
it was like an internal podcast.
yeah,
So
it was an internal.
although it's not something you would have seen, internally for them to get that consistent message out to their team, and during a time that they needed to still feel connected and the team bring everybody together, it was a really great way. And that ranking kind of system fell out as well. So they had, other messages from the factory workers, they had messages from HR. So everyone got involved in a way that everyone was on a level playing field. It wasn't, look at these people sat in their ivory tower telling us what to do. It was, oh, this person actually gets me because they're doing my job role.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, it was a back and forth communication as well, which was great. But I mean, a podcast is for a video podcast is kind of like a buzzword, because all we're doing is creating homemade TV shows, but people aren't searching for that. So why call it that? Let's call it what people are looking for. They're looking for video podcasts, and really we're just making TV shows for them. We've got the facilities to do that, and we know that when it comes to the short form content, you can take so much short form content out of a 30-minute episode. You could have, potentially you won't, but you could have potentially 31-minute clips. Reality is you'll have 15, but there's 15 strong clips which are actually a lot more impactful, a lot more view generating, because that's what people want to see and consume. It might not necessarily be about the full episode, the full 20-minute, hour-long episode. It might be just those clips that you get out of it that shows you as the authority and the intelligence that people want us to see, hear, and know from.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a podcast, actually, I won't name it, but I really like it. It's a video format, and it's two footballers. And I really love the clips. I very rarely go and listen to the full episode, because they generate so many really good clips through it, that actually the soundbite from the clips is like my weekly, like as it bleeds through my social media, like that's my weekly feel, like I'm happy. Like I've got juicy bits.
Yeah, we have one about like, is two, are they brothers? I don't know, like that do like they quiz each other. So they've
the Kaiser Bros.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I don't mind. They're awesome.
And it's like 5 questions, but I didn't realize that it's from an entire podcast episode, but I only ever see those sound bites. But that's enough to fill me with like, oh, what are they?
I assume their show is quizzes all the way through, but we've never watched one of their shows. And there's like comedians, there's like radio DJs who just produce clips, and the clips are really powerful for getting eyes on you. But to build relationships, a podcast is one of the best forms. So there's powers in both.
We have a passion for it. Paid to be nosy as well. We get to sit in and listen to everyone's conversation.
Yeah, you get the inside scoop on everything, right? Because you're listening while they're doing their thing. Like that's I'm a nosy. The whole podcast here was created because I was quite nosy, and it drives me crazy to like see someone on stage and be like, "You're a finalist, you're a winner." The end.
I know everything. I know everything from accounting to family law to menopause. It's kind of like all these conversations that I'm part of, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
And a lot of it, like the behind the scenes things as well. Like we know the ins and outs of people's lives, and it's actually become a really personal thing, and a really, like, we are a family business, but we're also really family orientated, of just like literally opening our arms to everyone. So anyone who walks in here, the kettle's on straight away. There's biscuits, there's sandwiches, there's like beforehand, it's whatever you want. Oh, we've got it. I'm getting it for you.
We don't make the sandwiches.
No. Far from that.
We get the sandwich lady to bring them.
But it's really important for us that, like, you are talking and opening up in front of us, and although not all of it is aired, the conversations that happen in these rooms are really personal. So we want you to feel like this is also a really safe space, and we've got you.
Yeah, we've got minutes to get somebody relaxed in front of a camera, and it's not multiple hours of time to get it all perfect. We, like you, try and do most of it in one take, so we can share it in its rawest form, but what I feel is also its best form. So there's a nice way that we try and relax people when they come in here, because it can be quite daunting with the lights and cameras.
Yeah, I should have come to you for this. Could have got the tea and biscuits out.
Yeah, we'll have to part to it, and you have to come down.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I think what you said there as well actually is quite important to relax people in front of the camera, because that rawest form, like we're recording this as one conversation. And I think in a world where we, however you feel about AI, it's here to stay. It does a great job of different things. But the one thing that we will always have above AI is that personal connection, right? And actually to be able to put something out in its entirety, as much as we want to consume so many like clips and bits and pieces like that, but actually to be able to go to the source of the conversation and for people to listen to this, I think is still something that will need to continue, but it will always hold a special place because it's something that we could have got AI to generate a conversation for us.
Yeah.
But it's not how we feel inside.
No, I think the biggest emotion or the biggest word that I use is the empathy. It's not feeling sorry for someone, it's sitting in that feeling with them. And by having that, you can have that audibly, absolutely. Like we've listened to podcasts and you're laughing out loud and you're crying along to, but actually almost sitting there physically with that person is also really important. And like you say, AI can't do that. They can prompt you to feel toward that, but they can't make you feel that. And that's where tone and spacing and all these sorts of pauses and things of where conversation come in are really important. And again, why this connection is really
there's a
best.
There's a lot of power in a pause, which AI doesn't know about. Like being able to just sit there in the silence, watch, and you might think that people are switch off, but they don't, because they're involved. They're there with you in when it comes to a podcast episode. They've built that time and rapport with you and they're willing to spend the time.
Yeah, and I also think that, if we listen back to the last few minutes of this conversation, we have to pause to think as well. Like as much as you can use that pause to really punctuate a point, we also have to have some thinking time and some downtime. And I think also, like from a listener point of view, so my kids are in this like age of YouTube, and they would quite happily, if allowed, just sit and watch YouTube videos all day. And it's people talking 100 miles up, and they don't. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's because they don't pause to breathe. And I think actually what I love about podcasting and and what we can capture on video, like those moments that you guys capture beautifully at different events, but particularly with these kind of conversations, is that we have to pause to think about what we're going to say next, but also the listener has to be able to pause, enjoy that pause and just process.
Yeah, it's teaching that opportunity to take a second, take a breath, have that second to sit on, how did I feel about the words that came out of your mouth? How did I feel about that? Did it sit right with me? Whereas, like you say, I mean, we are massive YouTube advocates, and this year the stats came out and BBC was the top rated viewing platform, but then YouTube was. So now YouTube is now considered a TV channel, if you like. And the fact it's rated second, I mean, I'm like, yeah, we probably make up most of that content ourselves. But by sometimes it going so fast, that's why people's reactions are so quick, because they don't give themselves time to pause, stop. How did you feel about that? Process that emotion, process that feeling. Now come back with how you feel and own how you felt. If you felt uncomfortable, say that. If you felt overjoyed with it, say that. But it's your emotion and you're allowed to feel it, but don't just react on it, feel it.
Yeah, I like that. I really
And
like
our
that.
kids are the same. See, our kids are 11 and nearly 13, and we're always again telling them, okay, stop. I get you're annoyed, but you're flying off the handle. Why are you annoyed? What is it? Let's take it down.
Yeah, and you see a shift with the content that's being put out. Look at the biggest YouTuber on the planet, Mr. Beast. 3-4 years ago, it was that constant no stop, no silence. Let's go, bang, 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 all in your face. You pump up the adrenaline and get everybody hyped up. But now you look at his videos, He spends a lot more time now with those silent bits coming in to get the emotion, the feeling across, because he now sees that YouTube is a slow platform. If you want fast and non-stop, that's what shorts, TikTok, Reels is for. But YouTube now gives you that opportunity that you can slow down with your content and build storytelling with it, which is what that is. And also, if people allow themselves to pause and stop, it'll stop all the ums, the ahs, the filler words that happen, because they're thinking, I can't be quiet for a second, so I will say in between. But really, just stop and pause, take a breath, and then you'll learn that you'll stop saying all those ums and ahs. So, but that's
training.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun actually. So years ago, I worked in sport. And so I was around quite a lot of footballers, like Premiership footballers, and you'd see them go take their like media interviews without, they all get media training, but you see them like match of the day, for example. I watched an interview with a very young Wayne Rooney a long time ago, and about every third word he said was And once you notice this, it was so distracting for what he was, because he just wanted to get it over and get it out and get on to the next thing. But every third word was and it was just infuriating as a football fan to realize what I'm saying. But also that consciousness of the words that he's using coming out that are, potentially going to be used against him in the press, or the manager's going to pick him up on something that he said. But the speed and the that it really stuck with me, even years later, because it was almost unwatchable.
It's really interesting.
It is.
Mentally, the amount of I've said whilst talking to you, my technique personally is to swallow the and it's literally like, okay, so now what? And I can feel myself doing it, but that hasn't come naturally. I now find that my other trait, and you pick me up on it all the time, is I pick a word.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And that will be the only word I say through. Yeah. Oh, wicked. Yeah, amazing. Oh, that's amazing. And I think, how many times have I said amazing in this thing? And he's like, loads.
When we're doing events and recording like 50 podcasts in a day, and every other word feels like it's amazing. But it again, going back to the ums and ahs, too many of them lose credibility in your conversation. The truth of the matter is, you're an expert in your field. You know what you're doing. You can talk about it over and over again. You're just thinking that you have to fill the gaps, and then you're saying and then if you think of every word, kind of gives you credibility, credibility. It kind of knocks you back down a bit, and then you're kind of fighting a battle. And it's not to say that saying a single or an or thinking about what you're saying and you make a noise, that's not saying that that's going to make you lose all that credibility every now and then. But just think, do I need to feel the silence, or do I just need to take time, think about my answer, and then give it? Because let's be honest, in editing, we can get rid of every gap if we wanted to. But we've seen a study where a few ums and
ers now.
A few ums and ers. That was my first one.
I'm really conscious now. I don't say
I'll give you a sign when I hear one. Well, we saw a study that a few ums and ers make the conversation feel natural and relaxed, but too many makes you lose credibility. None makes you sound like a robot.
Yeah.
So you've got a battle still, which again, that sounding like a robot makes you lose credibility, lose trust more, because you're sounding too robotic. You don't, with the other end, it's not the trust, it's really the likability. They don't like you because they don't believe what you're saying, because you don't have confidence in what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is kind of what happened with me and Wayne Rooney, because I listened to him and I don't really like you. There's a more personal history though. It's not really that personal. Wayne Rooney fans listening. I'm an Arsenal fan. There's history, but it's funny, isn't it? I noticed actually with the medium as well. Like when if I jump onto an Instagram story, I'm an because I haven't thought about what I'm going to say, because I like that to just be off the cuff, quite natural. It's like quite on purpose. But because I haven't thought this is the point that I want to make, and I know that I'm just having a chat, there's many more ums and ahs. because of
Yeah.
that.
The other word to think about is think. And we pick this up a lot when we have a day where we have a VIP content day and you spend the day with us. And part of that is having podcast experience. The amount of experts we have in here, and you are an expert in your field. The amount of people that would say, I think, da 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 da. And you're like, no, you don't think that. You know that. And you know that because you're sat here telling us. So I think podcasts are the way to go. That's not true. I know they are because that's my field and I'm an expert in that. So it's just maybe looking to reframe it, and it's saying it's not about opinion either. It's from my studies,
What we
because they
see
are
is,
from what we see. Because I'm not telling you that podcasting is the only way to go, because there's plenty of copywriters out there that would say blogs are the way to go or email campaigns are. And you know what? They're right too. What it is finding your right.
yeah.
So for our right and for people we work with, and we do that, we proof check them beforehand. We say to them, what's this going to do for you? What do you want the results to be? Actually, you're better off getting your story across in writing. Podcasting isn't the way to do that. Video podcasting isn't the way to do that. If it is, this is what it's going to do for you. And we know that because we see these results. So it's knowing what you're talking about, because you do know it. Don't tell everyone maybe and think.
It always comes back to messaging, doesn't it? Like being
Yeah.
consistent in the messaging and being concise in the messaging, whether that's franchise recruitment or filling classes or how you're going to like get your message, like the medium of the message. It's so important to have the intention.
Yeah. Working with franchises, and we've done a fair amount of work now. I'm quite proud to say the amount of franchisors and franchises, and I always get it all wrong and whichever, but I'm learning. I am getting there now. The messaging that you have, whether it's from baby dancing, what that's going to do for the development, the physical, the emotional, the singing, what that's going to do. You know this. And then when it's your franchisors, say why you should sell that franchise and why you should buy a franchise in that area, because of what it's going to give you as a family, but what it's going to give that area, what it's going to give your children, your future, the future of the children in that area as well, the opportunities. You know all of this stuff. Own all of that stuff and get that message out there and let people see you. I get it's hard. It is daunting sitting on the other side of the camera and having the lens stare at you. But that's why it's worth investing in a team that can make you feel calm, make you feel comfortable. And actually, maybe the best way to get all of that conversation out there, and not maybe, the best way to get all that conversation out there is to have a conversation and then turn that into social media, turn that into your blogs, turn that into your posts. Because you and I, like all of these clips that we get from this, all of these conversations you're having with all these different people, like I believe Anne-Marie from Diddy Dance as one, she's probably told you some amazing facts. Well, that can then go out as its own marketing for her. Those elements are what you can take from a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. We're very aligned, which I really like. Got a question for you though. So if we could wave the wand and you guys could do anything without knowing that you absolutely wouldn't fail, because you talk really passionately about podcasting there and messaging and things like that. So I'm really interested to see where you're going to go with this. But if you knew for sure 100% you couldn't fail at something, what would you guys do?
Build an Iron Man suit.
What's that?
Yeah.
No, only joking.
Like, I know where I'm going, and I'm like, I didn't know you were going there.
I'd build bigger, better, more fantastical studios. We'll be shooting a lot more than just podcasts. We'll be shooting documentaries and movies.
Oh,
That's what I'll be doing. And build an Iron Man suit, honestly.
And a romantic. Maybe with a camera in it to help you filming so that you can expense it.
Nice.
I like that.
I like that one. God, that's gonna be on the vision board now.
All these drone rules, I'll be flying it myself. I won't. I'm scared of heights. But I'll just build the suit.
But
Hover at 4 foot off the ground. That's it.
See, I was going for the pod van.
All of it.
What's
Yeah.
that?
See,
Tell me about the
although I
podcast.
do, well, the pod van is a is a vision that we've got where we will travel the country with our what originally is going to be a camper van, but I now feel like this might be a bus, a tour bus of us, and it'll have a studio in it, and we come and see everybody, and we go, come on, tell us your story, and we just travel the country and
Europe,
potentially the
the
world
world.
in our pod van, and that's what we do because I just want to get everyone else's stories out there and provide them the platform to do it.
I like that. I really like that. I
Copyright your
also,
in
yeah,
2025.
copyright it. Yeah, I haven't got time to rip it. It's fine. But yeah, maybe put a copyright on it. Yeah, I like these on these podcasts. We've had some really interesting thoughts, but I like the pod van. I kind of prefer the pod van to the Iron Man suit. I'm really sorry, Ben.
I'll
But
put a
if you
microphone in it and we'll record podcasts in there.
yeah, if you could combine them somehow, that would be great. Maybe the Iron Man suit then lifts up the bus and makes it easier for you to
Just
take
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
don't
feel like
know.
there's an element of realism and dreamism here, and
Right. Which is right. There should always be both. With that passion to get everyone to tell their story, where's it from?
so that one's a really good question. I think I've always had a history, like I come from a very conversational family. We have always been really open. We have all those conversations. And so I implore people to do that because I've learned so much through through it. And that's from anything from, when we used to watch Corrie as kids, and you're like, why is Sarah Platt doing that, mum? And what would you do if I came home and was pregnant at 13? To now with our children, like, do you understand what this means when they come home and say words from school? And we're like, do you actually know what that means? Like, oh my God. But then explaining it, talking about it. And again, with business, like, well, why does that work for your business but not yours? Having those conversations are really important. And but I also love to help people. I love to love people. And so if I can have that conversation, so I find out more about you and then stick it on a platform to get you out there because actually the world needs to know about you, I'm down for that one.
Good answer. I was proud of that answer, but
Thanks.
I'm going to give my own one. So for me, like Rachel says, she's more of a conversationalist. I'm much more of a listener. And I've seen sometimes the power of just listening, like as I don't know if it would be like you're listening to what we've got to say, and hopefully it's helpful for everyone else that's listening. But I've seen people cry because they've managed to get something off their chest because I've sat and listened. I've seen people laugh because they've managed to get over something that because they spoke to me and I've listened. I've not necessarily fixed the problem. I'm not solving the problem, but people don't need problems solved. They need to just express. And Stephen Bartlett said it on one of his podcasts, like it's sticking in the mud with them or staying in the mud with them. They have this problem. They don't need the problem fixed. You're not going to fix the problem in a conversation. What you're going to do is be there so they can get it off their chest, and it gives them a different view on things. It gives them a different sight because they've managed to say it out loud, put it into the world, and then they can go, I know what to do next. Or they go, I'm ready to talk to someone else about it. I'm ready for the next. That line has been crossed, so they can move forward. So yeah, from listening and hearing people, and also hearing their stories. Not many people are going to write a book,
Mm.
but they've got a lot of stories to tell. So being able to listen to them share those stories, and again through podcasting, I've seen 3 people write books because they've had conversations. I've sat and listened to them have conversations, and they've been able to use that to make more things happen.
It's really powerful, really powerful, and a great combination between you to have like that conversationalist and that listener. Like I can see why the dynamic between you actually works so well from a business point of view, because actually you both have very similar but very different approaches from an origin point of view. From a mental health perspective, so I'm trained in mental health first aid. And one of the first things they teach you in mental health first aid is to be an active listener. Because if you're an active listener, instead of waiting to talk and say your thing, which we always do, don't we? Like, oh, what am I going to say next? How can I show empathy? Actually, the power in pause and listen is phenomenal. It literally can be life-changing. And I think what I was thinking actually while I was listening to you there, Ben, was that I'm not surprised people have been able to get stuff out and then go on and be empowered to write the book, because I think we always feel so unworthy. Like we come from a place of like my lived experience, who cares what I've got to say? I'm unworthy of. Whereas actually, if you find somebody who is able to unlock those fears of worthiness by truly listening and helping you have that conversation, suddenly we realize that the tiger's not going to jump out and eat us if we just get it out. And that's so freeing.
Yeah, you said a line there where you went, "Who cares for what I've got to say?"
Mm.
Flip it. Who needs to hear what you've got to say?
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah. I think the other thing I see in a lot of franchise conversations I have is that people will, it's that why me? Why are they going to buy my franchise? Why are, they going to buy mine over somebody else's? What makes me special as a franchisor? It's like you as a person makes you special. You are unique and you're individual, and we need to celebrate that rather than hide behind the fact that you're not the big competitor, or like whatever that perception is. I think it's so inbuilt in us as to it can't be I'm not self-worth, whereas yeah, you're absolutely right. Flip it, like literally, why not you? And
Hmm.
that's a
Yeah.
really powerful way to start every day, isn't it? Like, why not me?
Yeah. We're all taught in business, like, what's your USP? And I always find it the hardest question. What makes us unique to any podcast? I could tell you that because of the site we're on, we've got outdoor space, or because we've got a green room as well, and things like that. But ultimately, none of them make us unique. What makes us unique is us, is working with us. And I've very much come to terms with that we're Marmite. More I'm Marmite. Ben, you can just, he's so relaxed, you just get on with him. But but I'm Marmite. And if you don't like me, okay, that's all right, because there is another space that you can go and use. The uniqueness of your video team is us, is our partnership, is the dynamic that you've said we have. So if you want to work with that, doors open, kettles on, biscuits are out if Ben hasn't eaten them all. Because normally we've eaten all the biscuits ourselves, but and that's who we are. We just want to have a laugh. We want to know your entrance song. So the minute you walk through our door, we're powering it up on full blast, and you feel like because the days you spend with us, they are only about you. And that's the USP, us, about you.
Love it. I really love it. And that really shines through in talking to you, because you do have your approach. You are who you are. I think it's so important for us to not get so hung up on everyone's got to like us. There's billions of people in the world. You can't like everybody. You can't work with everybody either. And I really salute that, Marmite, because actually, if you tried to speak to everybody and you tried to work with everybody, nobody would know who you are. Because that message that we were talking about a little while ago just gets so watered down while we're trying to be liked. Actually, what we need to do is we need to go out and be ourselves with confidence and embrace whatever comes our way as a result of that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that lesson, it's not an easy lesson, like, and not one that we've found quickly. It's been cemented more recently, and funnily enough, by a group that we've been in. Danny Wallace is Queen Bee, who obviously you've got speaking. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Like, the amount of time she's like, be audacious, be you, take up space. You are on this planet to take up space. Like, that's been cemented in us more, and that worthiness of ourselves. We've found a few communities that have taught us that, and we're like, and stick with those communities. And she has one that will, if you can be at the Disruptive on Awards on Friday, and like, or be at the Disruptive Awards and you can see her and you've seen her, then oh my goodness, like you'll get it, because she takes up space big, bold, and beautifully.
Absolutely. I was really thrilled actually to have her there, because I love what Danny does. She's very good at putting people at ease and championing everyone's individual right to take up space. And I think that actually, as we go forward into this like crazy world where AI is coming for us and all the rest of it, actually the best thing you can go and do is take up spaces yourself,
Yeah.
because otherwise there's no one else like you. AI can generate your tone, but it can't generate who you are and your thoughts and your feelings and get them out there. And yeah, it was a real pleasure actually to be able to announce that Danny was going to be there and be our VIP sponsor this year, because she's amazing at what she does, and there aren't many people like her. Not that
No.
She's trying to make an army of them.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
She'll succeed. She's on her
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Guys, if anyone is listening to this kind of going, yeah, these are my people. How do they do?
The best ways to get in touch with us, we are on Instagram at YVT_UK, but ultimately LinkedIn is we've got our personal platforms. So I'm Rachel Bryant and Ben Bryant.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is the reach out as well. We do have websites, Facebook and all of that jazz.
Yeah, YouTube, you can find us again with at YVT_UK. You can see a lot of work that we've done, a lot of people that we've worked with on there, and kind of stuff that we do. And yeah, just send us questions, ask us things, and we'll give you answers, because we've got nothing to hide. So
No.
yeah, we'll tell you anything.
Coffee and a cool and a slice of cake on the side, and we're there for you.
Love it. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. We'll put all of the links in the show notes so people can just go down to the show notes and click and come and find you. Please do go have a chat with them, because they are amazing. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. We'll see you next time.